Hi, I'm Katie, host of Focus and Flourish podcast. I used to grind nonstop until I figured out how to automate my systems that ended up helping me achieve a 4-day work week. Now I earn more and work less. Want to do the same? Grab my free 6-figure strategy guide, which is the exact blueprint I use to grow my own business to where I am today. Link in the show notes. Are you new here? Tap subscribe to support the show and never miss an episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Focus and Flourish. I am super excited about today, mostly because this is a culmination of basically my entire business, but really what I've been diving deeply into over the past 5-6 years. So the system, strategy, and mindset reset that your business needs might not be what you think it is. And so today I'm taking it beyond our typical podcast format. So if you're listening on Amazon, Spotify, Apple, also know that you can watch the live screen share on YouTube or my website. I will be going behind the scenes a little bit and sharing more about what we're doing. So let me just start with this. If you have been feeling overwhelmed, scattered, underbooked, or just a little bit anxious in general about the world, the economy, where your business stands, this episode is for you. So I want to talk about something very real. We're in a season right now where photographers and a lot of creative businesses are working harder and feel like they're making less. And marketing is feeling very noisy, especially with the evolution of AI. Clients are feeling very price sensitive and a little more hesitant right now. And the industry feels really saturated. And those are the facts right there. And part of this is through my membership and course, Momentum Method. Like, we're having real conversations about this with our students all over the country. And then on top of that, deep research, what I'm feeling through my business. So here's kind of the truth and what needs to come through to listeners here today. So when the market starts to tighten up, weak foundations become exposed. And honestly, stronger businesses thrive. And so a strong business sometimes is misunderstood, right? A strong business isn't necessarily the busiest photographer or the busiest creative web designer. A strong business foundation is ultimately one that thrives when you're not present, thrives when, economies shift, and thrives without you constantly inside of your business hustling. All right. So I am going to be walking all of you through the system, strategy, and mindset bundle. This is like my pride and joy, and this is not a sales pitch by any means. This is a business reset conversation. I encourage you to DM me on Instagram, reach out via email. All of the links are going to be in the show notes, and there will be tons of resources to support all of you at the end of this episode, okay? Essentially, I want to break down exactly what is inside this, but more so like how you can implement some of these tools while listening to this podcast, or maybe after. So essentially, what's inside of it, why I built it, and how our Recession Proof Your Business guide can completely shift how you operate for the rest of this year. So again, this is not hype or trends. This is about structure and stability. And so one of my main mottos is that structure does create confidence. It mitigates the guessing. It mitigates the what should I do next? So I'm going to dive in by sharing my screen and getting started. So let's go. Sorry, one second. All right, you guys. I want to kind of pull back the curtain and speak really honestly in this episode. So I built my business through multiple economic waves. I scaled beyond multiple 6 figures before I had kids. I started my business in 2008, which was one of the biggest economic crashes we know to date if you're a millennial or Gen Z person. I had babies during a global shutdown. My income has dropped My husband was laid off during COVID when I was pregnant with our daughter. And oh my gosh, having our first, that was not my plan as a very business oriented person to have a laid off husband and be pregnant in a global pandemic. And so ultimately through all of these experiences, I've had to rethink absolutely everything. And so that's what I want to bring to the table today. What saved me and my mental health as well as my business was definitely not more hustling and grinding and like doing too much and burning out. It became clear to me really early on when I was shooting a ton that I needed systems. I didn't know what they all were. I researched, I worked, and I needed a strategy. And that's when we kind of built everything out. And the beautiful thing is once you start building systems, you build upon them. They are not they grow with you. And that's why I'm so inspired to teach this to creatives and photographers, because it's literally why I'm here right now with a podcast. So I do think that mindset discipline is incredibly important as well. It is absolutely impossible to not absorb what's going on in the world, the news, the noise on Instagram, the new this, the new that. It's impossible not to absorb all of that information and feel overwhelmed. But there are tools and things, daily habits and systems that can really support your mindset and the discipline that you have with the way that you're processing some of your thinking around your business and your lifestyle, right? So I understand myself, and I also know that most photographers don't need more inspiration or more drive. They need structure. They need to know what actually is going to move the needle forward in their business. They need to know what to stop doing. They need to stabilize their revenue. They need to understand the market and numbers and money without the overwhelm, right? And essentially, a lot of the people I work with, and in general, they need to protect their energy. So when we created this bundle, the reason it exists is to give photographers a path forward when things feel uncertain. And it also gives you a very actionable roadmap to follow so that you don't have to keep second guessing your next move or your next project or your next, strategic project within your business to grow. So it's not about like chasing trends, posting more, all of that noise. This is about building a business that can withstand pressure. So inside the system, strategy, and mindset bundle, which you can see here if you're watching this live, we have the Recession Proof Your Business Guide, the 6-figure strategy workshop, which is brand new, completely up to date, recently recorded so that it's really relevant to what's happening in the world right now, specifically the United States. And then, of course, tactical tools and frameworks to simplify executing all of these new things you're going to learn. So it's not surface level content at all. It walks you through stabilizing your income, identifying your most profitable offers, cleaning up your systems or creating new ones that are going to help you step away a little bit, fixing your marketing focus, really understanding your ideal audience, your target audience, resetting your financial awareness and your money mindset, and shifting out of like fear-based and panic thinking, essentially. So what I love about this offer is it's not just one or the other. It is not overwhelming. We've designed it to be, little bite-sized pieces at a time so people can actually implement everything as they go without the overwhelm. I'm human. I've been very overwhelmed before. It's an awful and crippling feeling, right? So let's dive into kind of how this works and what you can take away today. So the Recession Proof Your Business Guide was ultimately created when I was watching photographers that I know, people on my team, people in Momentum Method, the high ticket course, as well as our membership, just completely spiral, like completely. So, cutting prices, discounting emotionally, like saying yes too much, posting randomly, kind of that hamster wheel vibe, panicking. And so here's what I want you guys to hear. Recession seasons don't destroy strong businesses. They just don't. They, they expose weak positioning. And so if you don't understand your positioning, that is setting you up for a really challenging time. All right. So what does that mean? And what does that mean for you? I always urge the idea that you need revenue stabilization before you need growth. And so what does that mean? Most photographers focus on growth first. And that is very, very common. More followers, more leads, more inquiries, more visibility, like all of that stuff, which is super important. But in uncertain times, uncertain markets, uncertain economic times, political times, whatever, stabilization, it should be your number one focus right now. How do I get my business into a stable place with systems, structure, a really healthy mindset, and the tools I need to grow? Okay. So this is about tightening your business model, not expanding it recklessly and just like kind of getting into that feast or famine cycle. This is because stability creates leadership, calm, direct leadership. And that is what photographers that really want to make it a stable career need to be focusing on right now. So here's our landing page for the bundle. And essentially it's a simple system and strategy reset for working photographers who want consistent bookings, clear direction, real systems, and a business that supports their life, not the other way around. And honestly, when I say simple, we created this so that it's tangible. You can take action steps. It's not even an investment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to sort of walk you through the core pieces and takeaways I want you to really register today. So first and foremost, strengthening your core offer is really critical in today's market. I've really seen and felt it in both of my photography businesses. And in slower economies, clients are becoming more selective. Facts. So your offer can't be vague anymore. Your website can't suck. Like, it has to be positioned clearly. That is just so deeply important. So who you actually serve, number one, who is it, right? Get to know that person. How do you speak to that person? How does your messaging align with that person, group, or figure? Why you are different. This one is very hard. I will say I struggled with this question with myself. What does make me different? This is why we need support in this industry and sometimes someone to guide us through this process. So first it is who you serve. What makes you different? What problem do you solve through your work? Because if you're offering these incredible galleries or this incredible creative product, whether it be a website or, an incredible podcast, whatever it is, I'm sorry, but that doesn't matter right now. In marketing, you need to clearly get through to people on the problem that you solve, right? Right now, people want to be nurtured and guided and supported. Now, that's a huge part of our brand, but start thinking about what problem you solve. Huge. And then lastly, how to articulate your value beyond price tags. So this comes through sort of the ecosystem of your marketing and your brand. Why and how can you add value to people's lives aside from just the photography piece or the end product? A lot of people right now are relying on their portfolio, like beautiful work or styled shoots, and it's just not going to communicate your value, period. There is so much more to sort of the web of marketing and strategy that needs to be happening. So clarity on these things, on your core offer, on your core message is what's going to support you in your growth. So I want to kind of move to the topic that is hard to talk about, which is finances and money, but clean systems reduce financial anxiety. So this part to me is really, really big. I had my share of so many slow seasons where I was anxious and stressed and in a bit more of a fear-based place, which again, I think it's super normal to go through. And fear is not bad, but it puts us in fight or flight. Okay. So most anxiety is actually not about money. It's about not knowing what your future path is going to look like not knowing how the year is going to unfold, not really understanding your numbers. For example, I've had enough seasons where I know that we are going to hit a certain number. I understand my profit and loss report. I hate it. I'm a creative person, but I've done the work to understand our numbers. You can gross 300,000 one year and $300,000 the next year and have a totally different take home number. Do you understand the cost of what it takes to run your business? Do you understand the numbers, right? And how deeply do you understand them? I understand my numbers better now than I ever had because we've hit similar numbers every single year since 2021. And I had another baby. And I watched how we can gross the same amount in 2 years, chronologically, and how my take home amount was less the year I had my second baby son, Levi, because I took a maternity leave and I outsourced almost everything to be with my baby. But what I love about the systems behind that is that my company still grossed the same amount that year. We still made the same amount of money as an LLC. I personally took home less because I made a conscious choice around those numbers on what to outsource and let go of to spend time with my newborn. So inside the Recession Proof Guide, we address cost awareness, profit margins, monthly revenue targets, booking consistency goals, and workflow inefficiencies. So your time is valuable and time is money. So the triangle I always like to think about is essentially time, energy, and money. So you have time at the top, energy, and money. And if you flip that triangle over a few different times, what you're going to start to realize is they're all equal. Your time is valuable. So if your workflows aren't working for you and you don't have these systems set up and you're just sitting behind a computer doing that, that's also paying yourself to not be out in the field, shooting, networking, and building your business in other ways, period. So marketing should feel completely steady, not chaotic. Back to the money really quick. When your backend is clean, your nervous system can relax a little bit. Fresh P&Ls every month from QuickBooks, whether you have do it yourself or you have a team helping you. Honestly, relaxed business owners make better decisions. You will have more clarity. You will have more of a grounded approach to business once you get this stuff straight. I promise you. I do want to speak next to a huge one, marketing. Marketing with precision is very different than panic-based marketing. We can always tell when someone is just sort of throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to just be seen online. Digital marketing has never been more important in our industry. Yes, I believe other forms of marketing, referrals, venue partners, vendor partners, cross-marketing, all of that is absolutely relevant. But when fear hits, people either disappear, right? Or they post constantly with zero strategy. And so when you think about it from a more strategic place, we as humans, as creatives, as photographers, do not own Meta. We have no idea where Instagram is going. We have no idea what's going to happen with Facebook, TikTok, and all the social platforms. But the thing that we all own is our website. And so our websites need to be our digital home, our digital salesperson, right? So what I always like to think of is your brand is the foundation. It's the soil. It's what we water. It's where the roots grow. And we build that foundation with care. And then your website is your digital home that lives on top. And then you walk in and those ideal clients land and they go, oh my gosh, I'm in the right place when they land on your homepage. And the Recession Proof Guide teaches about intentional brand pillars because they're critical, especially in this economy and market. Relationship-based marketing, authority positioning, vendor networking, SEO focus, SEO that converts, and then once done right, where you're going to be showing up both on Google, different search engines, and ChatGPT. Because believe it or not, ChatGPT's search engine is not Google, it's Bing. So these are really big topics as well. So marketing really needs to feel steady, not chaotic. And again, I will dig this in deeper, but consistency builds trust. Your branding, your messaging, your marketing, your consistency. So rather than posting 7 times in a week and then dropping off, or writing one blog post and blah, 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 just find your flow. 2 posts a week on the same days and you're recycling a content plan. great. That is so much better than just hustling to show up when you can, like at a red light. You know what I'm saying? So that is another huge piece of my recession proof guide. And then next we talk about mindset discipline. You know, a growth mindset is so important and so challenging. I save this kind of for the end intentionally because strategy without mindset is going to collapse. It's almost impossible to reimagine your business and start building systems and structure and strategies that are fresh without having worked on the deeper mindset work. I do actually believe that strategy without the right mindset can totally collapse. So when I'm just going to go into a personal example, but when I was pregnant in 2020, my income dipped dramatically. And I remember just feeling like, wow, this is wild. And I had an opportunity in that moment to completely lose it and spiral. But instead, there are 3 questions that I invite our listeners to ask yourself. So what can I control? That's number 1. What can I control right now? What's within my power? Where can I double down? And these will prevent you from panicking. So really nourishing your mindset isn't like just some woo-woo thing. It's literally disciplined leadership within your business. And our businesses are inadvertently directly in alignment with our life as creative entrepreneurs. So this part of the guide walks you through identifying fear-based thinking, reframing economic narratives, and building personal responsibility around this, as well as staying proactive instead of reactive, which is a really hard one for me. Your clients can feel your energy, people can feel each other's energy. And so if you operate from fear, that's going to bleed into your messaging and your overall branding. It will. And if you operate from leadership, your brand is going to strengthen. And when you operate from leadership, you step into a next level of growth where you're going to be in a place to outsource more, whether that's through tech or a real VA, but getting out of that, that hamster wheel. I'm really wanting our audience to feel excited about stepping into a leadership role. Even if you're a solopreneur, you do not need a team to be a leader, but stepping into, okay, I'm guiding the ship. So this bundle is for photographers who feel scattered, creatives who want consistent bookings, business owners that are just like tired of guessing and throwing spaghetti at the wall, like wondering what's going to work, professionals and creatives who want structure, anyone ready to lead their business instead of reacting to it and reacting to external things that are happening. Let's get these systems implemented with these 10 very actionable steps. It's not a short guide. It's really in depth so that people actually feel like, okay, I can take this and move. This is ready for this is for someone who really wants to operate like a CEO and start having better work-life balance. So here's what I want you to remember. Economic shifts are totally normal and they're not going anywhere. It's a part of life. Market corrections happen. Industries evolve. They change. Sometimes they bounce back. Sometimes they don't. But strong businesses will adapt through all of these phases. And if you've been feeling overwhelmed or unsure about like what your next move is going to be, this bundle will give you clarity. Okay, I'm going to get through the guide in the next 14 days. And then I'm going to dive into the training and I'm going to implement everything, right? Because we are constantly circling back to resources that are right at your fingertips to support you. I was going to say that the main thing about like strong businesses adapting is that, all you want is clarity. All I want is clarity. So this bundle gives you clarity, and it's not like a noisy, fluffy guide. This is a sit down, I'm going to do this, and I'm really excited about it vibe. So in the next episode, I'm going to be breaking down the strategy workshop inside the bundle and show you how to map out your revenue plan, your marketing plan, your brand messaging, and all of that really intentionally, because guessing and making decisions constantly is exhausting. Decision-making fatigue is real. You deserve a business that supports your life and doesn't consume it, period. So if this resonated, you can go to the show notes, and the system strategy and mindset bundle is right there. And if not, there's tons of other resources to at least inspire you to take a step forward today in the right direction. And if you're ready, honestly, if you're ready to stop spiraling and start leading, this is your reset. You are welcome to head to our website, book a free call with me. I really want to encourage everyone here to really own their leadership and own, that there is a really bright future ahead. So I will see you in the next episode, and thank you all for being here. I will talk to you soon. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it on your favorite social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Your share can help someone improve their photography business and their life. Use the hashtag Focus and Flourish podcast so we can see your posts and connect with you there.